Besides the Winged Dragon of Ra ruling questions and Pot of Greed jokes, one of the most common comments that I see on my videos is something along the lines of, "Hey Doug, I've been watching your videos, I really enjoy them, how do I get back into Yu-Gi-Oh? I've been out of the game for quite a while." These comments always brighten my day. I love Yu-Gi-Oh, and it really does make me happy to see that my videos can encourage more people to play the game. A while ago, I made a video talking about the decks that players can buy when they're getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh, and I think that a lot of that video still stands. Maybe I'll update it if this video does well, but in today's video, I want to tell you about the products that are the best choices for returning players. While buying single cards from websites is certainly one way to go, I think a lot of players, myself included, whenever I start a new card game, want to open official products. There's just something special about sitting down with a new game like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon or Magic or whatever and actually buying a real product and opening it up for the very first time. That's your first experience with the game. Maybe later on you can buy singles, or maybe you buy singles alongside products, but in today's video I'm mainly going to focus on some of the best product purchases for returning players. As always, if you guys would like to buy any of the things that I mentioned in today's video or any singles later on, make sure to use my link to tsteveplayer.com. It'll be in the description below. One of the things that I would like to do in today's video is future-proof it as much as possible, give more general guidelines as well as some specific sets, but sort of make it so that if you find this video like 6 months or a year from now, most of the information should still be true. For example, instead of telling you about the newest structure deck, I'm going to tell you that just buying structure decks in general is usually a good idea. I went back and looked at the most recent releases for structure decks, and I'm not lying when I say that all 7 of the most recent structure decks are fantastic buys. Now, some of these are a little bit older. One of them is actually from 2018, the very end of that year, but all of them have competent strategies and great reprints. That's one of the things that I realized when making this video, is that structure decks really do age quite well, even the ones that have been hit on the Forbidden and Limited list, like structure deck Order of the Spellcasters and structure deck Soulbringer. Those are still good buys. All of these structure decks tend to be pretty affordable. I think they usually go for like $10 a structure deck, so if you buy 3 of them, it's only $30, and then you'll have a fairly competent deck on your hands. Not to mention, pretty much every single time a new structure deck is released, there are tons of videos on the first couple of days from people that are building entire decks out of just 3 structure decks to give you a good idea of how you can combine 3 of them to make a competent strategy. Structure decks have a theme, which is really important because it means you can actually build a deck out of the cards inside. It is actually meant to be a strategy, not just a pile of cards. They have great reprints, they have cool deck guides in the actual structure deck, and overall they're a fantastic product. One of the other things that I love about structure decks is that they're all pretty much at the same power level, even against other structure decks from years prior. What this means is that if you and a friend are trying to pick up Yu-Gi-Oh for the first time in a while, you both can buy different structure decks from the last couple of years and play against each other and have a fairly even matchup. Obviously, some structure decks are going to be better than others, but in general, they're all about the same level of power, which means it's really good for playing against your friends that are also getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh. But okay, let's say you bought your 3 structure decks and you've been playing for a little while, and now you want to upgrade your deck even more. Where do you look? Well, this product is a year old, but I still think that Dual Devastator is one of, if not the best products for returning players outside of structure decks. Much like a structure deck, all the cards out of Dual Devastator are guaranteed, which is really cool. You know what you're buying every single time you buy a Dual Devastator, and man, is there a lot of value in this product. If the goal of a structure deck is to buy a product that gives you an opportunity to build a deck with a real strategy, then the goal of Dual Devastator is to enhance almost any strategy that you already started building. Instead of having an archetype or a general theme, the point of Dual Devastator was more so giving players the opportunity to buy a product with a bunch of guaranteed good general cards. You have good hand traps, you have good extra deck monsters, you have good side deck cards. There are all sorts of deck building cards in here that can go into almost any strategy. If the only cards that you own are from 3 structure decks, I say with no hesitation that Dual Devastator is the best product for you. It seems like Konami spent a lot of time making sure that the cards in Dual Devastator were pretty much timeless. You can play them in a bunch of different formats in pretty much any deck, depending on which ones are necessary for that particular tournament. And for this reason, I think it really is one of the best products ever released, especially for returning Yu-Gi-Oh players. Next up, we have Megatons, which started out way back in 2014, and I can pretty pretty much say here, every single one has been a good purchase for returning Yu-Gi-Oh players, for current players, for all sorts of players. This really is one of the best products for everyone out of the entire year. It has great reprints, it has great new cards. All the Megatins have been really exciting. The goal of a Megatin is to reprint many of the top cards from the past year. That is a really cool thing for returning players to actually have access to in one product many of the best cards that have been seen play at tournaments. Nowadays, they also have added benefits. It seems like they have cool new rarities and cool new OCG imports from Japan. As someone that's been around since the Megatins first released back in 2014, I can say that as the years have gone on, Konami has done a great job of maintaining the status of this product. Konami has made changes to the Megatin formula. I mean, the last two weren't even technically called Megatins, but they did have Mega Packs inside of them. But overall, throughout the years, they've all been really great buys. Now, while Megatins tend to be like 95% reprints and 5% new cards, the Battles of Legends set tends to be like more of a 50-50 split. There might not be as many high valued cards in these sets, but there are usually a ton of great reprints. This is really cool. I think a lot of people really do enjoy Battles of Legends sets. I know I do. I've talked about them a lot on this channel. The recent Battles Legend Armageddon had a bunch of great reprints. I even made an entire video talking about the 10 best reprints, but there are many more than that in these sets. I will say, generally speaking, it seems like in the past, the new cards out of Battles of Legend have been weaker than the reprints, so just keep that in mind when you're buying packs of this set or buying a box of the set, that not all the cards that you pull are necessarily going to be as good on average as something like a Mega Tin. That's not to say there's not good new cards out of Battles of Legend, but historically speaking, the reprints have always been the biggest selling point out of Battles of Legend, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. I'm also a big fan of Dual Overload, especially if you want to pick up a bunch of the most powerful Link monsters in the game right now, but besides that, there are cool alternate artwork cards, there's cool reprints. This is a set that I've opened a lot on the channel, and I really do think it is one of the better sets of the past year. I really think that Dual Overload is an excellent choice if you already have many of the cards that you need for your decks from the previous products that I've mentioned. Dual Overload has a lot of really powerful cards that likely will only be in this set for the foreseeable future. Oh, and finally, I will say that Maximum Gold will probably be a good purchase. At this point, at least when I'm recording the video, we don't know a lot of the cards in the set, but of the cards that we know, it looks really good. I mean, Droll and Lockbird, Elmtiro Stratos, Appaloosa, all alternate artworks. That's really nice, and in the past, Gold Series have been excellent for reprints, so while I don't really know the entire contents of this set at this moment, I would imagine that Maximum Gold would be a good purchase, at least going off of the other Gold Series releases in the past. I know I have a lot of viewers that want to return to Yu-Gi-Oh, and I get a lot of questions about it, especially during live streams, so I really wanted to make a video talking about some of the products that I recommend. As always, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you guys want to purchase any of the products that I mentioned in today's discussion, or if you want to purchase singles to boost your decks, make sure to use my link to tcgplayer.com. A portion of the sales that happen after clicking that link will go right back into the channel, so it's a great way to support me without spending any extra money. I'll see you guys later though. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.